Breaking news. Iran has struck the largest Israeli oil refinery in Haifa, in the north of the country, causing a power outage and a major fire at the facility. Later, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps stated that the refinery in Haifa was hit by a new Nasrallah missile named after the deceased Hezbollah leader, which was used by Iran in combat for the first time. At the same time, there are reports that Iran has allegedly managed to shoot down an American F-35 fighter jet worth $100 million for the first time. However, analysts insist that Israel's military strike on the South Pass gas field facilities in Iran has triggered a dangerous process that could lead to the war lasting at least until May. In general, let's take a look at all these aspects together. My name is Alexei Pichi. Let's discuss this topic together. But before we start this episode, I ask you to subscribe to this channel, give it a like, and leave any comment under this video. This really helps the YouTube algorithms recommend this episode to as many viewers as possible. Also subscribe to my Telegram channel, Peachy News. The link is in the description of this video. There we post breaking news as it comes in. So today, March 19th, Iran struck the largest Israeli oil refinery in Haifa, which is in the north of the country. After the attack, the city lost power. There have been no reports of casualties as a result of the missile strikes. All emergency services were working at the scene, but a video of a large fire appeared online. Immediately after the attack, Iranian state television reported that the strike on Haifa was carried out in response to the Israeli attack on the South Pass gas field. By the way, this is a separate incident we'll also discuss in this episode. The refinery in Haifa processes about 50 to 60% of Israel's fuel, so it must be acknowledged that this is a very important target. The plant processes about 197,000 barrels per day. Most of Israel's transportation, aviation, and military fuel depends on this. Overall, there are only 2 oil refineries in Israel, and today the first one was attacked. Later, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps stated that the refinery in Haifa was hit by a new Nasrallah missile named after the deceased Hezbollah leader, which was used by Iran in combat for the first time. Earlier, on March 18th, Iran announced strikes on major oil and gas facilities in 3 countries. After the strikes on gas processing plants at the South Pars field in Iran, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of Iran warned of retaliatory strikes. The IRGC stated that it plans to strike 4 oil and gas facilities in Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar, and they called on the authorities of these countries to evacuate the workers of the facilities as well as residents of nearby areas. Let me explain here that South Pars is the largest natural gas field in the world, located on the border between Iran and Qatar in the Persian Gulf. This is essentially a continuation of Qatar's North Field. Well, of course, in Iran it's called South Pars. Qatar, the world's second largest producer of liquefied natural gas, has already been forced to halt production due to a previous Iranian drone attack. Earlier, Iran attacked the world's largest LNG producer, which of course is located in Qatar. And today, the CEO of Qatar Energy, who is also Qatar's Minister of Energy, Saad Al-Kaabi, announced that Iran's missile strikes have knocked out 17% of Qatar's liquefied natural gas export capacity. It will take 3 to 5 years to restore them, during which almost 13 million tons of LNG per year will be taken out of operation. According to him, 2 out of 14 production lines and 1 of the 2 plants for processing gas into liquid fuel have been damaged. And now I'll quote Al-Kaabi. "Even in my worst nightmares, I could not have imagined that Qatar, and the entire region would come under such an attack, especially from a brotherly Muslim country during the month of Ramadan." According to Al-Kaabi, because of the damage, the country will lose $20 billion in annual income. Supplies to Europe and Asia have come under threat. According to Qatar Energy's estimates, repairs may require at least $26 billion, And now analysts are saying that Israel's military strike on the South Pass gas field facilities in Iran has taken the war to an entirely new, more dangerous level. After Tehran responded with an attack on the most important energy infrastructure in the Persian Gulf region, Trump was quick to declare that Israeli forces would never attack again. Quote, "The South Pass field is extremely important and valuable. Unless Iran recklessly decides to attack completely innocent Qatar. But the problem is that Iran has already attacked Qatar, and there was no response from Donald Trump. In addition, Tehran has also struck energy facilities in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, and now a refinery in Haifa, Israel. Meanwhile, Tehran is also continuing its long blockade of the narrow Strait of Hormuz, blocking a significant portion of the world's crude oil supplies. Here, experts are raising the alarm. On one hand, Donald Trump boasts that the US has already destroyed Iran's missile program, but on the other hand, a ballistic missile hit Haifa. In addition, nothing is stopping Iran from moving Shahed drone launchers closer to the border or placing smaller missiles on trucks. Iran's proxy forces in the region have shown today that it's possible to wage war for years with only small missiles and drones in their arsenal. And this is where experts insist that actions by Israeli forces against South Pars could provoke attacks on targets that have not been affected so far. And the greatest concern is the potential threat of attacks on the Saudi East-West pipeline or export terminals on the Red Sea, which, along with Fujairah, are the only significant alternative to the Strait of Hormuz, which is currently blocked. But it's also important to remember that at the moment Iran essentially has no incentive to de-escalate. Moreover, the regime in Tehran now finds it easy to instill in Iranians the belief that victory is inevitable. Well, supposedly it's inevitable. The thing is, today an American fifth-generation stealth fighter, the F-35, was damaged and made an emergency landing at a US military base in the Middle East. And officially, according to U.S. Central Command spokesperson Captain Tim Hawkins, the aircraft was on a combat mission over Iranian territory and was forced to make an emergency landing. He clarified that the landing was safe and the pilot is alive, and here CNN writes that the aircraft may have been hit by fire from the Iranian side. If that's the case, it would be the first time Iran has managed to hit an American aircraft in the skies over Iran. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of Iran confirms that they hit an aircraft on Thursday, and next I'll quote from the IRGC statement. An American F-35 fighter jet was hit at 2:50 this morning by a new advanced air defense system of the aerospace forces. The aircraft sustained serious damage. The incident occurred against the backdrop of statements by American officials about the successful progress of the military campaign. U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth stated that the U.S. is confidently winning and Iran's air defense systems were, quote, completely suppressed. But I would just note that F-35s from both the U.S. and Israel are participating in the combat operations, and the cost of one such aircraft exceeds $100 million. And up to now, there have been no reports of them being shot down or hit by the enemy. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. If you found this episode interesting and useful and you want to support our YouTube channel, you can do so financially with any donation. Subscribing or becoming a member on YouTube is very easy. The links are in the description of this video. There's a button to subscribe and become a member under this video, or you can use the QR code on your screen. This is the most convenient way to support our channel with a one-time donation. I will be grateful for any support you can give. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.